Putting hours into the gym and not seeing results feels disappointing, but it doesn't have to be that way. Most people think that poor gym results happen either because your nutrition isn't perfect, because life means that you can't train 5 or 6 days per week, or maybe even because of your genetics. But the real reason that your gym results are disappointing is because you aren't training hard enough, even though you feel like you are. Over the last 16 years working as a personal trainer, I've perfected 3 foolproof methods to transform your gym work ethic. By the end of this video, you'll know how to accurately work harder and feel proud of your results. Foolproof method 1 is OE, or overall effort. I created OE for my clients to use, and it's my favorite way of defining how hard you're working. What exactly is OE? It's a simple system where you give yourself a rating out of 10, with 10 being that you physically and mentally could not manage even 1 more rep. I created this by combining 2 imperfect systems. Imperfect system 1 is RPE. RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. You give yourself a number out of 10 at measuring how hard you feel you're working. It's the most common way of rating your effort, but can you see the important component it misses? Your perception is that you're already working hard, but I promise you that it isn't hard enough. If I asked you to rate your efforts out of 10, you'll likely overestimate it and continue feeling disappointed with your results. Do we want that? We do not. My system OE, or overall effort, prevents this overestimation. Imperfect system 2 is RIR, or reps in reserve. It's again a simple out of 10 rating, this time of how many more reps you could physically manage. The positive of this system is that it's more objective than RPE. Can you see the downside with this measurement? It's totally normal to know that you could physically do more, but mentally not feel up to it. This is where OE, overall effort, shines. With any exercise, you're going to rate your physical and mental efforts out of 10 and find the average. A perfect example of this was a deadlift PB I set a couple of weeks ago. By the time I got to the end of my set, I was mentally spent. I went into it focused and ready. After the lift, my intent was exhausted. It was a maximum lift for me mentally, so an RPE 10. However, when I watched the video back, my last rep was still fast. I could definitely physically manage 1 more and maybe even 2, so I rated an 8.5 out of 10 RIR. That means I had 1.5 reps in the tank. In my training diary, I rated this lift a 9 out of 10 on my scale of overall effort. That accounts for the fact that I was mentally done, but physically could do a little more. Here's an example of how it worked for a new client of mine too. We were squatting with 30 kg and I asked her to rate how hard she felt she had worked. She told me that set was an 8 out of 10 for her. I then asked her how many more reps she could have physically done, absolute maximum. She said 5 more reps maximum. So the RIR scale would have her at a 5 out of 10, but she felt like an 8 out of 10. That doesn't really work, does it? I explained the OE scale and she agreed that her overall effort for the set was in the middle at a 6.5 out of 10. Can you see why this matters so much for you? If you overestimate how hard you feel you're working, you'll never get close to your actual physical limits. Getting close to or even pushing your limits is how you make progress. If you're not pushing genuinely hard, you will feel disappointed when you plateau. Use the OE scale which I've made for my clients to rate their actual difficulty. How hard did it feel? How many more could you physically manage? Find the middle and you will make progress. Foolproof method 2 is the strength cardio scale. This method allows you to accurately identify what specifically is making your workout feel hard. You can then act appropriately, see more results, and feel happy with your progress. The premise of the strength cardio scale is that one of those 2 factors will be limiting you the most. If your muscles are burning or just won't push anymore, you're being limited by your strength. However, if you feel breathless, hot, and like your heart is pounding, then you're being limited by your cardio. This method has worked brilliantly for my clients who weren't sure how to mentally approach their sets. One client in particular found it hard to prepare herself before squats. It was challenging for her to fully focus if she didn't know how the set would feel in advance. On her program, I made simple notes like mainly strength mild cardio or strength fine cardio tough. This means that she was able to anticipate how her set should feel. Can you see that anticipating the set allows you to work harder by being mentally prepared? The way you should use this is by assessing how you feel at the end of your set. Muscles burning or no force to push? Strength is limiting you. Breathless, hot, pounding heart? Cardio is the harder factor. The reason that this method works to increase your gym work ethic is simple. You can be mentally prepared for what's coming and brace yourself to either physically keep pushing your muscles when it feels tough, or to mentally keep pushing through the discomfort of your heart and breathing rates. This mental preparation means you push harder and make more progress. The third and final foolproof method is short and not at all sweet. It's the gun to the head method, and it's as direct as it sounds. Can you work it out already? When you're going through your workout and thinking about stopping your set because it's hard, imagine someone with a revolver telling you to do 1, 2, 3 more reps. It's an extreme scenario, but it works as a shock to the system. As I said in the intro, you currently feel like you're working hard. How much harder could you work in an extreme scenario? If the answer is quite a bit, then I guarantee you can also work harder in a normal scenario too. I like to use OE for the majority of the time in my own training, but when I'm feeling more fatigued, the shock of the gun to the head method can push me to wake up, focus, and get my workout done. If you regularly feel unfocused in your workouts, then you're definitely not training hard enough. An extreme scenario might be what you need to pay attention, laser in, and get results that you're proud of. You now know 3 foolproof methods to solve the real reason you aren't seeing results. Working harder and improving your gym work ethic prevents disappointment in your progress. No more blaming nutrition, being busy, and genetics. Use OE, overall effort, to rate your genuine effort. Decide how hard you feel you worked out of 10. Decide how many more reps you could have physically managed. Find the middle and you accurately know how hard you worked and how much room there is for more. Use the strength cardio scale to mentally prepare for what's required next. Do you need to be ready to push your muscles harder and grit your teeth? Or do you need to prepare to keep breathing and accept the discomfort of a high heart rate and temperature? Finally, use the gun to the head method as a hard reset. Be honest with yourself. Are you unfocused? Embrace the extreme scenario to get your attention onto the task at hand. For more health and fitness advice delivered from experience and with integrity, subscribe to me. Thanks.